Hi guys, good morning. Well, we have an upcoming trip next week. We're going to be heading off to Iceland. We've been to Iceland before and we've done a video on what gear we're taking to Iceland before, but that was about 2 years ago when we were in Iceland, and we've also changed a lot of our gear since then, primarily going from crop sensor to full frame over that last 2-year period. So I thought, you know what, today we'll do the gear I'm taking, or an updated gear I'm taking to Iceland video. So you know what, without any ado, let's jump into it. Oh, by the way, it's Gary here with Gary Clayton Photography. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So hey, the two camera bodies, primary camera bodies. I'm taking my Canon, my Canon 5D Mark II. That's going to be my lead camera on this particular trip. I'll be taking it with me. We're also going to take another full frame camera, which is our Canon 6D. That's going to function as the backup camera on this particular trip. And attached to this camera right now is my 28 to 135mm lens, which is essentially my everyday go-to lens. Wide lenses. Well, I'm going to take my Canon 17 to 40mm f4. Great little landscape lens, L series. You know what, I like it. I like this little lens, and for the price point it was fine, so we're going to be taking that guy with us. Long lens, of course, I am going to be taking my Sigma 70 to 200 f2.8 stabilized. We've talked about why I use stabilized in f2.8 before. It's not needed for landscape. F4 would be fine, and I don't particularly need it stabilized. It is extra weight, but this also doubles up as a very good wedding photography kind of lens, which I do a lot of. So yes, we'll be taking that guy with us. Another camera we're going to take with us is actually our little Fujifilm XP130. Now this guy I recently picked up just a couple of months ago. I've been doing some tests with it and I kind of like it. It's rugged as all heck. You can beat it up, you can beat an ammo with it. It's totally waterproof, not just water resistant, but waterproof to 65 feet. That's great. The reason I picked this up and the tests I've been doing with it are primarily for time lapse, and especially in a place or a country like Iceland. Wind, rain, sleet, snow, especially November when I'm going. So this I'm going to take with me primarily as a time lapse camera. Let's see how we can make out with that. Another lens I'm taking with me is actually my nifty 50, my little Canon 50mm 1.8. I normally wouldn't take that with me, but even though it's a 50mm, it is a 1.8. Now my wide lens at 17 to 40 is f4. There's a huge difference between f1.8 and f4 when it comes to light. Now, why am I taking it? Well, the forecast for the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis, is very strong for the time period that I'm there, or some of the nights that I'll be there. So I might get the opportunity to shoot the Northern Lights. The last time I was there was only one night where we had clear skies. The rest of the time it was cloudy grey, miserable rain, snow, wind. No way there was any Northern Lights visible. So why am I taking a 50? Well, I'm taking it because it's 1.8. Is 50 too long? Probably is, yes. I think a good kind of celestial, be it the Milky Way or Northern Light kind of focal length is probably around 20, 22, 24 mil. 50 mil is probably too long, but at 1.8 I'm taking it. It only weighs a few ounces. I'm taking it because I want to give it a try. I want to try the benefits of the 1.8, so that's why I'm taking that with me, primarily for that particular task. Fine. Filters, of course, I'm taking all of my circular polarizing filters for my different lenses. Wouldn't leave home without them. I'm taking my Corken ND filters and graduated ND filters, of course. Of course, why not? Don't leave home without it. My trusty Arca Swiss L bracket. That goes with me everywhere. Speaking of L brackets, let's just throw up the tripod right now. I'm going to be taking my Dulcia tripod. Now this is the same one I took 2 years ago, and I did kind of say to myself at the time, you know what, for the money I have invested for this, for the years I've had it, I've beaten the hell out of it. It's been a good little tripod. I would like to upgrade, but this is still going to Iceland with me because I don't care if I beat the hell out of it. It's fine. I'm taking a wrist strap. I do shoot a lot, kind of off the cuff, if you will, or shoot off the hip. A wrist strap is important for me. Batteries, battery chargers, of course, I'll be taking a good supply of those. You can't go without them. I'm going to be taking 2 GoPros. Now, right now I'm recording this video on a GoPro Hero 5 Black. Which is right now my primary kind of vlogging camera, which falls short for me many times. We've mentioned it before. I am kind of looking at the M6 and the M50 Canon mirrorless for my vlogging camera. It's just a matter of finding one at the right price, be it used or whatever, or a new one that I would go with. But we are going to upgrade that. Plus I'm having some issues with the mic adapter on the GoPro Hero 5 Black. Quite often I get some interference in the audio, kind of like a clicking, click, 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 click sound, and I believe it's coming from the adapter. But here, a backup to that is my GoPro Hero 3 Black. This is actually the video camera that I use for all my underwater video, because we do a lot of underwater photography, and it's great underwater, but it's not stabilized. It doesn't need to be stabilized underwater. You're in this kind of fluid environment, and everything seems to just move along at a really nice, steady, easy kind of pace. But I do notice the difference if I'm hiking down a trail and I'm vlogging with this camera. It is very shaky footage, so I try to be still when I'm using it, but still, for the vlogs, for YouTube, I'm taking this with me as a backup. So I'll be taking my GoPro Hero 3 Black. Complete cleaning kit, of course. Must have a cleaning kit with you. I have just finished cleaning both of my sensors on my DSLRs before I go. So I wanted to get that done, but of course, lens cleaning, brush, blower, lint-free lens cloths and so on, mandatory. A shutter release, cable shutter release. I consider those mandatory. Sure, I can set a 2-second or 10-second timer, that's fine, but I can also use this in a bulb mode, which I really like. I use that. Power. I do take a 12 volt 110 converter. Here in Canada we use 110 and that's fine, but this plugs right into the cigarette lighter of my car. I've used it before on different trips and actually works great. I can actually boil a kettle, which I do while I'm out in the boonies somewhere, and I think, you know what, I'm going to have a coffee. I make my own. It's great. It's great for constantly charging, be it the drones, whatever it might be, camera batteries. It has one USB port, and it has one 110 port. It plugs right into the cigarette lighter, a 110 converter. It's great. I take my converter for 110 to 220, which I believe Iceland is, Europe. So that's fine. So anyhow, I take that with me. I use that quite a bit. Battery pack. This is a USB battery charger. This will charge a GoPro maybe 3 times before I have to recharge it. So that's pretty good. You can use it for many things. You can charge your phone with it. Kind of important for me to have it. And another cigarette lighter plug-in with 2 USB ports for charging. Drones. Well, I'll probably be taking with me my Phantom 3. Now, this is a Phantom 3 standard, and I use it a lot, and I like it, and it's great. It's not the best traveling drone, obviously, for its size. The Mavic Airs and so on would be much better, even the Spark, and I have thought about buying a Spark. But this is what I have, and when you work as a photographer, and that generates a majority of your income, you're always kind of on a budget, so it's not as though I can just go out and buy what I want when I want. So I'll probably take with me my Phantom 3 standard, and there's only one reason I'll do that, and that is primarily because it has a gimbaled camera. Now just check something out real quick. Here is my Unique Breeze. This is a Unique Breeze. I love this drone. Now this drone is small, comes in a very hard compact case. You can just throw this in your checked luggage, in your suitcase. It'll be fine. I've done it many times. It's not a problem. This is the drone. Small, compact, little legs, does a fantastic job. It does not have any software issues. Minus 20 degrees, minus 30 degrees Celsius, which we get a lot in Canada. That thing, poof, off it goes, does its job, comes back. It captures amazing stills at 14 megapixels. It does great stills for a little drone with a little, essentially a little compact camera built in. The problem is with this camera, it does not have a gimbaled, the problem is with this drone, it doesn't have a gimbaled camera. It's digitally stabilized, but it's a huge difference between a fully gimbaled camera like the one that's on my Phantom 3. So, as much as I love to take this little guy with me because it's so easy to take with me, it's not, you know, it really is easy and light. It's easier for the backpack, everything. I probably won't because of the fact that it's not a stabilized camera and it makes a huge difference. And going to Iceland, I do want to try to get the best video I can possibly get. And the biggest benefit to me of the Phantom 3 over the Breeze is simply, like I said, the gimbal camera. Of course, the props for the drone, the remote for the drone, and a car battery charger for the drone. I'm probably forgetting certain things that I'm going to take with me. This is all, by the way, going to go in this particular bag here. This might be a little on the larger size, and I'm only talking a little bit for checked luggage. But with WOW Airlines, the company I'm flying with, and maybe others, I don't know. But anyhow, you can purchase a slightly larger, extra large carry-on, which I did, so I can take my drone with me, because this bag is actually designed for the Phantom 3 and the Phantom 4 series drones, which fit in just like so. And the remote essentially fits in here, like so, and you've still got pouches here, which I actually put filters in and lenses in and so on. This kind of folds over here like this. The drone goes in here, and the top compartment goes, I can put my 2 camera bodies and maybe another lens, which goes in this top compartment. A couple of side pockets and so on, so I can carry snacks, water when I'm out on the trails and such. And I do use this bag a lot for that reason, because it will take my Phantom 3. So hey, there you go. That is the bag that we're going to take. We've done a video on this bag, by the way. This is Ultimax, sorry, it's the Ultimax backpack, and it's a design again primarily for the Phantom 3 or Phantom 4 drones and your DSLR gear. So that's the bag I'll be taking with me as far as the carry-on and my backpack. Of course, I am taking checked luggage with me and so on. So hey, that is it. That is what we're taking with us to Iceland. Now, what I'm going to do next, and before we go, is I'm going to go over to the map, because in my little office / studio I have a wall, and whenever I'm going on a trip to a particular location, well, on that wall goes a map of the location I'm going to, and I look at that a lot. I plan my route and so on, and that's what I've done with Iceland. This is the second trip to Iceland, so some of the places we're going to, we've been before. Some of the places we're going to, we've never been before. So hey, I'm going to shut you off for a moment. We're going to go over to the map. I'll turn you back on. We'll have a look at the itinerary. Stand by. Okay, so we're going to be flying from Toronto, Ontario, and arriving at Keflavik Airport. Now, on the GoPro 5, I have no idea how clearly you're going to see this, but I hope you're seeing it reasonably clear. Let me grab a little pen, easy to point with. So I arrive at Keflavik. Now, it's a night flight. I arrive at Keflavik at about 5 a.m. in the morning. I have a rental vehicle for the 8 days that I'm going to be there, already arranged at Keflavik. And as soon as I clear customs, pick up my automobile, maybe 7 o'clock in a.m., off I go. I bypass Reykjavik, go through the outskirts of Reykjavik, and I start heading north along 1. I pick up here, this little road, and off I go to this location right here. Now, this location has an iconic waterfall. It's a terrible name for me to try to pronounce. Hurnesfosser. Something along those lines. There's a whole there's a whole chain of waterfalls, if you will, along that area, and I really like the images I've seen before, so I really want to have a look at that. From there, I backtracked the way I came back to 1, and I start heading north again, and then I start heading northwest into the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. Now the trying to speak Nordic, I guess, or what, or Norse, or whatever these guys speak, but some of these words are crazy and I apologize. But heading into the Snæfellsnes Peninsula of Iceland, we're going to be staying right here for 3 nights. Now, that's the first 3 nights that we're going to be there, and it's just outside the community of Helisandur. So it's actually just over here that we're staying for 3 nights. This gives me the opportunity to explore Kirkjufell, which is a very kind of iconic mountain with a waterfall in the foreground, well photographed, but I want to go there myself. Right here, whatever this says, we definitely want to go here. Along the southwestern part of this peninsula, Arnastapi, there's a trail running through here all the way across to some of these beach areas here, and also some of the beach areas around here have some amazing black sand beach, high cliffs, rocks, and so on. So we're spending 3 days photographing this particular peninsula. From there, we travel back down we're not in the US. We travel back down highway number 1, back south, back the way we came. Now, we have a couple of choices from this point, and I'm not 100% sure whether I want to go back to Brurafoss, which I photographed before. It's a very good selling location for me, so we might go back there and reshoot it. But something else I haven't done, and all the time I've been in Iceland, is I've never spent any time in the city. I always bypass the city. I've never spent any time in Reykjavik. So that particular day, which is basically day 4, I could possibly spend a day in Reykjavik, or I could go over to Brurafoss. Either way, we'll see. That particular night, whether we head from Reykjavik or Brurafoss, we're spending in Hella. That is night number 4. Again, I'm somewhat familiar with this area. There's some really interesting waterfalls up in this area here that I really like to photograph, and I photographed them before. I think I can do better, but I don't know if I'm going there. Another location, Solangerfoss, of course, which is really quite iconic, but I'm going to bypass that. I bypassed it the first time. I went there, I looked, saw it, along with a million other people, and I said, you know what, let's not worry about it. But I do want to have a go at Skogafoss. Skogafoss is right down here. This is very close to where the DC-3 is, by the way, or the Dakota, the US Navy Dakota, which we've shot before and is a very good selling image for me. We're going to continue along this southern coastline around, again, the rocks, the black sand beach by Vic, and we're going to head up to this location here. Haven't got a clue how you're going to say that. It's got like 50 characters. We're spending 2 nights here. There's a canyon right here, big canyon. I want to photograph that. There's other areas around here that I want to photograph, but the 2 nights I spend here is also going to allow me to move east. Jökulsárlón, been there before. Black Diamond Beach and the Glacial Lagoon. I've been there before. I definitely want to get back there again. Also, from here, it would also give me the opportunity to head west again if I wanted to. So we spent 2 nights here. The final night we're heading back towards Hella. That's where we'll spend the final night in Iceland. From there, we're going to move across to Selfoss the day that we depart, and along the southern peninsula here, Grindvik, and back to the airport. This area I have not drove down yet, so I want to take a look at that, possibly for future exploration, I don't know. And then from Keflavik, we fly back to Toronto. That whole particular trip is about 8 days this time, so hopefully we're going to capture some good images, because that is what this trip is all about. Iceland's an amazing country. As I say, I've been there before. I really want to get up into the western fjords up here. I really want to get over to the eastern areas and the eastern fjords of Iceland. Some absolutely stunning images are coming out from there. Also, of course, Akureyri in the northern areas of Iceland. some amazing, amazing locations. The whole country is full of excitement. And yeah, and amazing landscape possibilities. So hey, maybe from here up to here, here, all the way to here, maybe that is a little bit too much to be asking for, but you know what? That's the itinerary, and we'll just see how we make out. So yeah, there you go. That's going to be our trip to Iceland. And I hope you've enjoyed looking at that map. Okay, so that was the map. That's the itinerary that we're going to be following. And hey, let's see how it all works out. I have no idea, but we'll see. Thank you for watching my channel. Please, if you enjoy what we're talking about, give me a like. Please give me a share. Leave a comment. I'll get back to you with any questions that you might have. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We will talk to you next time. The next time we talk to you will probably be from Iceland. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.